great city, especially in the summertime. Ottawa, the nation's capital. Hey, their team has a winning record. They're 1-0 against the rival Montreal Alouettes, trying to make it 2-0 tonight and stay in first place. However, when they beat the Owls in week 1, this guy was not dressed, not in the lineup, and he's been one of the big stories. Rakeem Cato, starting quarterback for the Montreal Alouettes, coming in with nearly 70% completion rate on his passes. Interesting story as we continue. Week 7 in Wendy's Friday Night Football. I'm glad you could be a part of it with us. Welcome, I'm Rod Smith. Along with the panel tonight, Milt Stiegel, Paul Lapalisse with us, Chris Schultz as well. Yes, the Red Blacks coming off a bye. 2 weeks ago, they went back to a winning record at 3-2 when they defeated the Calgary Stampeders. Henry Burris, very impressive in that game. So this time, Montreal at 2-3 coming in, looking to match them. Coach, what are you looking for in this game?
Well, Rakeem Cato is who I'm looking for, because you saw off the top of the show, 70% completion percentage for a young quarterback is a good thing. But the thing he's done the last couple of weeks is his ability is what I call a pocket athlete. He's scrambling around, finding open receivers. And then on 2 occasions last week, he starts to scramble out of the pocket. The defender covering a receiver has to drop out and go ahead and come up and make a play on him. He throws it right over his head for big completion. So the Red Blacks have got to do a great job in their pass rush lanes. And again, in their man-to-man coverage, Schulte, they got to stay with their guys and don't let him run around all game.
Rakeem Cato is brand new to the CFL. Henry Burris has played 17 years of football, and the extremist that Henry Burris is has to be eliminated. You know, there's good Henry, there's bad Henry. Well, you got to see good Henry consistently, because he's at that point now where if he does not make those critical mistakes, then they're not going to win. He's got to find a consistency about his performance, or the Red Blacks are not going to be a playoff team, because the East right now is better than the West.
A big play passing in the CFL is considered a play over 30 yards. The Red Blacks have a total of 5, which is last in the league. 3 of those come from a player who's not even playing tonight, Christopher Williams. The Red Blacks have a lot of money invested in this receiving corps. They need to find somebody and step up and make some big plays. I think Henry Burris is fine. Those receivers, a lot of money, step up and make some plays. If they can, they have a great chance of winning this game.
And if they do win the game, they win the season series, too, against Montreal, having beaten them back in week 1. So big one for both teams tonight in Ottawa. And John Tigler's Peace River, Alberta, too. You could win the ultimate $25,000 home theater package from Visions Electronics if the kickoff is returned for a touchdown in today's game, thanks to Safeway's Touchdown to Win promotion. And if a second kickoff is returned for a touchdown in this game, you could also win a cool $1 million. John, good luck with that. Rod Black and Dwayne Ford standing by with the call. The Red Blacks being introduced to a sellout crowd at TD Place against the Montreal Alouettes. Wendy's Friday Night Football. Take a picture. It's coming up.
It is a fabulous Friday night in Ottawa. Round 2, Red Blacks, Alouettes, Wendy's Friday Night Football. And the next chapter in the Michael Sam story is about to unfold in Canada.
Michael Sam, the most talked about player in the Canadian Football League in 2015, is finally going to play his first snap. We expect to see him for about 20 plays on defense here tonight. For the Ottawa Red Blacks, this is all about trying to get a win and take control of the season series against the division rival. And one of the keys is going to be this guy, Siobhan Walker, back in the lineup after sitting out the Ottawa Red Blacks last game 2 weeks ago.
Rick Campbell and his Red Blacks had the bye week. He said they needed a deep breath, get back at it. Great win over the Calgary Stampeders in overtime. Tom Higgins' team lost to Calgary last week. They had a 17-point lead, blew it, and now are trying to get back in the win column and seeking some revenge against this Red Black team that knocked them off in week 1. Boris Beatty is ready to kick this off tonight. We're glad you're with us. Buckle up. Should be a great one. Bitter Eastern rivals separated by 2 hours on the Trans-Canada Highway. Ottawa, Montreal. Here we go again. Jock Sanders at his 20 gets a block. Up near the 32-yard line. Significant in this game. 2 teams are also missing some key offensive weapons. Montreal, no Terrell Sutton, and for Ottawa, no Chris Williams this week.
Well, you heard Milt Stiegel talk about it. in the pregame show, they're going to need somebody to pick up the slack in terms of big plays. Khalil Payton draws into the lineup in that regard. Also keep an eye on Greg Ellingson sliding into Williams' spot. Dealing with Montreal's defense, Siobhan Walker and John Gott will be key to identifying those fronts.
Henry Burris throws out to Khalil Payton, and Payton makes a move. That is Khalil Payton's first catch since last season. Has not played this year. He was a big part of their offense last year, and of course they did not have the receiving core they have this season, but Payton draws in with Chris Williams injured.
Payton lines up as the number 2, just a quick out. Get the new guy involved very early on in this one.
Northern Arizona star, 16-yard pickup, 1st and 10, Red Blacks. 40-year-old Henry Burris coming off his best game as a Red Black. 3-man rush, 2 for 2 now. And over the top, fighting for yardage, is Brad Sinopoli. Peterborough native, former Ottawa GG star. Here are some of the starters to watch defensively, and of course we'll watch for Michael Sam when he comes in.
Yeah, but in the meantime, keep an eye on that D-line. Gabriel Napton, second-year man, 11 sacks in 20 career games. Dominique Ellis, a special team stud, is in for Gerald Brown at halfback. And watch the very versatile Winston Venable from his linebacker spot.
Burris not down. There is Venable right there, batting that away. The Ottawa Red Blacks have had very slow starts. That's been a theme, a bad trend for the Red Blacks. They've had good finishes this year, which they didn't have last year. They've had terrible starts. They have not scored on a first possession in any way, shape, or form through their 5 games.
Well, you see them out of the gate with a couple of quick hitters in this ball game. And based on the way they finished that last game going into the bye week, you have the sense that there's real enthusiasm to get back to work here for the Red Blacks.
2nd down conversion, penalty flag, looks like offside. And threading the needle once again. And once again, the Ottawa Red Blacks will move the sticks. And Brad Sinopoli has a pair of catches already. The former Heck Crichton Trophy winner.
Number 31. Penalty will be declined. Play results. 1st down.
They had a play to burn because Venable had jumped. Al Bradbury, our referee tonight. They get close to the score zone now.
Well, Brad Sinopoli has quickly emerged as Henry Burris' security blanket within this Ottawa offense. His go-to guy in 2nd down situations. Real clutch receiver.
Alouettes show blitz. Greg Ellingson far side. Ellingson coming off his best game as a Red Black, the former Hamilton Tiger Cat. Has a couple of touchdown catches this season, and again, a revamped Red Black receiving core this season has meant good things for Henry Burris.
Yeah, a completely rebuilt unit, whereas last year it was basically Marcus Henry and a group of inexperienced guys. This year it's all experienced players, and many of them have some sort of history, some sort of existing chemistry with Henry Burris, which has been huge in the early part of 2015.
Here's where they struggle inside the 20. They're last in the CFL in the red zone. Another pass out to Sinopoli. That's 3 catches in this drive, and Burris is already 5 of 6 out of the gate tonight.
Well, if you were going to label these receivers with roles, you'd probably primarily have Sinopoli and Ernest Jackson as your possession-type receivers. Part of the deal playing against Montreal is you know that they're going to bring heat from all sorts of different angles, all sorts of different looks. Henry Burris wants to get the ball out of his hands quickly, and one of the beneficiaries of that is going to be number 88, Brad Sinopoli.
This is where they've been pretty good this season. 2nd down conversions about middle of the pack. Here's another one right now. 2nd and 7. Sinopoli and Payton are the wideouts. Looked like an offside perhaps there. Penalty flag down. Burris now running out of room. Steps out. Not sure if the Alouettes jumped or they were drawn by the Red Blacks. Could be a procedure call here as well.
Offside. Montreal. Number 7. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
John Bowman will keep the Red Blacks drive going here.
A nice bit of discipline here as we've seen the Alouettes jump a couple of times. You have to believe Henry Burris is mixing up his cadence down there at field level, mixing up those snap counts so the Alouette rushers can't get in a rhythm, the blitzers can't time their blitz.
2nd down and 2. This is something that the Red Blacks did early in the season and don't do much of at all. Siobhan Walker running the football on 2nd down and 2. May require a measurement here. Chevy Walker gets back in the lineup, the Jamaican-born running back.
A hand injury kept him out a couple weeks ago against the Calgary Stampeders. They know with the depth they have at the position, they wanted to ensure that they had someone who was 100% ready to go. Jeremiah Johnson, second-year CFLer out of Oregon, was the man who stepped in for the victory over Calgary.
Oh, by the nose of a football. So now first and goal for the Red Blacks. Sold out TD Place Stadium tonight. Place that has become a real bucket list place. Great place to watch football ever since the Red Blacks came back to the CFL. Henry Burris now operates first and goal. Ellingston and Mo Price, top and bottom of your screen. Burris changes his play. Here comes the blitz. There goes the football. Hayden can't get there, overthrown. So they'll go second and goal now. Henry saw them coming.
Well, you're going to see a max protect here from the Ottawa Red Blacks. The slot Brad Sinopoli stays in, but you've still got a free man, Winston Venable, coming from the right side. So Burris knows he's got to, that's his guy, meaning he's got to get rid of the ball before Venable can get there. The pressure supplied by the linebacker forces Burris to throw a little bit inaccurately on that one.
10th play of the drive, opening drive. Red Blacks have not scored on an opening drive all season. Pitches it out. Now they have. It's a touchdown. Ernest Jackson. Caps off an amazing drive for the Red Blacks to open this one.
Henry Burris doesn't do it as often as he used to, but the fact is the threat remains for him to run. So as Burris looks like he's going to break contain, watch 55 napped and widens with him. That creates a huge gap for Ernest Jackson to come underneath for the shovel pass, his 4th touchdown reception of the season.
Well, the guy who was the hero the last time the Red Blacks played, Delbert Alvarado, who won the game in overtime, was released by the Red Blacks, and Chris Milo is now the kicker. Another former star down the road in Laval, Rougeor. His first kick is a convert on the Ernest Jackson touchdown. Henry Burris, one of the strongest arms ever. This was a little flick and a touchdown on their opening drive. Wendy's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Wendy's Baconator and Bacon Poutine. Wendy's, now that's better. What a start for the Ottawa Red Blacks.
This team that has allegedly been notoriously slow starters, they're putting that all to rest. 10 plays, 78-yard drive, ate up 4 minutes and 29 seconds, culminating with that major to Ernest Jackson.
Chris Milo, again, new kicker for the Red Blacks. Hammers it down to Steph Logan. Picks his way up near the 35-yard line. So now, after 4.5 minutes standing on the sidelines, the Rakeem Cato story continues.
And a few of the keys around Rakeem Cato. Keep an eye on right guard Philip Blake, the former Baylor star, a terrific 3rd-round pick back in 2011. S.J. Green, of course, is his go-to receiver. He's been very good over the last 2 years against these Red Blacks. Brandon Rutley in at running back for Terrell Sutton. Rutley, a pretty good receiver, had 8 touches for 56 yards in spot duty last week in Calgary.
And spot duty last season. Rutley out of the backfield. Cato looks for him right away. And Brandon Rutley, high stepping now. First down up near the 50-yard line, close to 15 yards. Brandon Rutley, you can see why Jim Popp and the Alouettes have kept this guy around. Played in the Eastern Division semifinal last year. The final has been behind Brandon Whitaker, then Terrell Sutton. It's his time now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could tell by the way he was used against Calgary that when they got him in the backfield, even with Terrell Sutton, that Rutley's the guy they feel is the stronger receiver coming out of that backfield, as that's how he was used most frequently.
Played out of San Jose State. There's Nick Lewis coming off an emotional return to Calgary last week, where he once played for 11 seasons in a losing cause. Here are the defensive players we'll be watching, including Aston Whiteside.
Yeah, Whiteside, a big debut, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles against Calgary. A little shuffle in the secondary. Jarrell Gavins, who's usually the field halfback, is out. Brandon Thompson moves from free safety to field half, where he played last season, which means Jacques Washington, the rookie, will start at free tonight.
2nd down and 2. They give the rock to Rutley, and he runs into Aston Whiteside. Rakeem Cato is saying that progression might have been good enough for a first down, and indeed with the spot, it is a first down.
Rutley did a nice job to keep the legs churning through contact here after a big collision with Whiteside right in the hole. But he keeps fighting, gets a little help there from big Philip Blake. And that's going to move the chains.
Rakeem Cato plays referee. Rakeem Cato, nothing short of outstanding since he came in 2nd week. Rutley again slashes left side. Minimal pickup, maybe 2 or 3. Up near the 47-yard line. Rakeem Cato, week to week, he just continues to grow in confidence.
Yeah, Cato against a very good Calgary team last week frequently found himself under pressure, particularly in the second half of that ball game. We got to see that Houdini aspect of his game, very elusive back there in the pocket to go along with the accuracy that he's already demonstrated. The legend of Rakeem Cato continues to grow early in his CFL career.
Just 23 years old, out of Miami, former Marshall University star. Again, they go to Brandon Rutley, who spins out. And again, with no Terrell Sutton, which was a story coming in, how would they perform without Sutton in the lineup? Guess what? Not bad. Rutley's taking over here in this first drive.
Yeah, and it's just a little bit different look. Brandon Rutley's going to start off in the backfield and just free release down the seam here. You see, nobody follows him. Nobody goes with him out of the backfield, making an easy shot for Cato.
19-yard pickup inside the 30. Cato again delivers. Penalty flag flies. Making the catch, J.C. Boyou, former star from Sherbrooke. 5th round pick of the Owls last year. Let's see what this penalty's about.
Montreal, number 58. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Center Luc Brodeur-Jourdain.
Brodeur-Jourdain right in the middle. It's a little clutch, as you can see, wrapped around the back of Keith Sholigan. Now, one of the things to watch is we've seen Brandon Rutley allowed to get out of the backfield as a receiver. Watch for Ottawa to start blitzing more and force him to stay in and block.
Well, they tried the delay draw. That didn't work. That was read perfectly. So now it's a throwing down, is 2nd and long. Rutley swallowed up in the line of scrimmage. And again, Aston Whiteside, who was let go by the Toronto Argos in training camp, played with the Argos last season. He has been a great find here in Ottawa, just his 2nd game. Was responsible really for the Red Blacks winning against Calgary. Here they come. Cato now. Fumbled the football. Picks it up. And the best that the Alouettes will do here is a field goal attempt.
It looked like Moton Hopkins, the former Alouette, from his D-tackle position, got a piece of that one to punch it free from Cato. Alouettes fortunate to recover, still within field goal position.
Well, we talked about Chris Milo, the former Laval star. Here's another one who followed Milo with the Laval Rouge et Or, Boris Beatty. Born in France. Perfect this season. This from the 44. This one's not perfect, though. And coming out of the end zone, at least thinking about it. And finally thinking against it and thinking better to take the knee and give up a point. Boris Beatty's first miss in the Canadian Football League. 7-1 is the score. Henry Burris, his team with a win tonight. to take over first place in the CFL East. A lot of football to come on Wendy's Friday Night Football from Ottawa. And so now the fascinating subplot to tonight. Michael Sam is on the field for his first play in the Canadian Football League.
Much to prove as a football player, and that's all Michael Sam wants to be.
There was a lot of mystery surrounding his appearance in the Canadian Football League, when he would play. Well, it's now. There he is. Right side, rush end. Burris, shotgun. Lets it fly. Ernest Jackson collides the far side with Billy Parker. So all the talk, though, about Michael Sam, again, drafted in the National Football League, the first openly gay football player in college ball, drafted in the NFL. This is his first game in the CFL. Left camp for a couple weeks, personal reasons, came back, and on the roster now for the REDBLACKS. And far side, good catch. Greg Ellingson tiptoes his sidelines right at the 55-yard line, the midfield stripe.
Greg Ellingson is going to get some of the looks usually reserved for Chris Williams, often lining up in Williams' spot in this offensive alignment. He, like Williams, a former Hamilton Tiger Cat, a guy who had his best year with Henry Burris throwing him the rock.
1st and 10, just inside Montreal territory. Under 4 to go, opening quarter. Bit of a wobbler. Maurice Price, watched by Mitchell White. Incomplete pass. Tom Higgins said when Michael Sam came back after leaving for a couple of weeks, said there was more fire in his eyes, more passion about the game. Talking to some of the players, it wasn't so much about his sexuality or the story or anything. They just said that Michael Sam may not have been prepared for the Canadian Football League early this season.
Yeah, and it's a different game. Speed and quickness so important. Fitness important given the pace of the game and the amount of passing.
Far side on the rush is Sam. There's a one-hopper for Ellingson. So now the kick team has to come out and they will punt it back to the Montreal Alouettes. And Steph Logan, the dangerous returner who took one back against Calgary last week, will go back near his 10-yard line. Michael Sam will return to the sideline. There's Logan. His first punt return touchdown in the CFL last week. Anthony Alouettes. Logan finds a hole. Look out here. There he goes to the 50. There's a penalty flag down. Nobody's going to catch him. See ya. But good chance this is coming back. Steph Logan, speed to burn. But guess what? All that for naught. A 103-yard romp. Logan's run denied by an orange piece of nylon.
Yeah, I thought he had punt return TDs in back-to-back weeks. Keep an eye right here on the fullback, J.C. Beaulieu, running with his man, but the Ottawa cover guy gets underneath him, gets in front of him. And that little bump clearly on the back shoulder. It's going to result in this one coming back.
So once again, Rakeem Cato fires a dart to Nick Lewis. Route King Cole, as he labels himself this season. Nick Lewis with a 10-yarder moves the sticks.
One of the most prolific receivers of his generation. His role is a little different now. In year 12, but Nick Lewis remains solid possession guy and a great comfort and resource for a rookie quarterback to have.
They have Fred Stamps back as well. Missed last week in Calgary with personal reasons. And look at Brandon Rutley. Barge up for 9 yards close to the 30-yard line. It's going to be Second down, short yardage again. Likely going to see Rutley one more time.
I like the creativity here in the run game as you're going to see the motion between the receivers. Jaguar Bolia coming across that formation right to left. Rutley cuts it back opposite that bit of misdirection.
Brandon Bridge is in at quarterback. Canadian quarterback. Back up behind Rakeem Cato. He's trying to scrap for that first down. He has to get to almost the 30 proper. Brandon Bridge got his first taste of action in week number 1 when all he thought he was going to be doing was holding on field goal attempts. We were chatting with him, and all of a sudden Jonathan Crompton goes down, Dan Lefevre goes down, and Brandon Bridge had a chance to play.
Yeah, and much debate through the week leading up to game number 2 for the Alouettes as to who would be the starter. Would it be Brandon Bridge or would it be Rakeem Cato, as the two rookies had been expected to rotate during the regular season as the number 3 guy on that depth chart. And although Bridge was the man on the roster in week 1, it was Cato who got the start in week 2. His successes meant Brandon Bridge has remained the backup, taking care of short yardage and holding on those field goals.
Mississauga native Brandon Bridge, who played at South Alabama, but not crack an NFL roster, so CFL dream alive. There's Kavis Reed, the former Edmonton Eskimo head coach, special teams coordinator now with the Alouettes. First and 10, Cato, high toss and threw it out of bounds wisely.
Now this is one where Rakeem Cato got locked in. You know S.J. Green's going to be the primary guy as they've got him isolated on that side of the field. The lone receiver to that side, he's going to face man coverage. You know, Cato puts a lot of faith in big number 19, but they got their signals crossed on that one.
S.J. Green came into this week the leading receiver in the Canadian Football League. One of the most targeted, quite simply one of the best. Last minute first quarter. Usually S.J. Green time is right here, second down. Guess what? First down. One of the best second down receivers. CFL on TSN is brought to you by Nissan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Drive continues. Rakeem Cato and the Alouettes. Double tight end here. Play action here. Going deep for S.J. Oh, what a catch! Still on his feet. S.J. Green, highlight machine. 33-yarder.
S.J. Green, the lone receiver to the left side of that formation. He's just got the tight end, the backup offensive lineman Piotrowski in there to help max protection. Ball a little bit underthrown, but a great adjustment there by S.J. to make that catch with Javon Johnson in his hip pocket.
He makes the spectacular look ordinary. First and 10 again. Brandon Rutley has daylight. Inside the 20-yard line, inside the score zone now. Brandon Rutley, impressive here tonight. That was a 20-yard romp on the final play of the first quarter. Lots of offense here so far. Game 2 of the season, Owls and REDBLACKS. Ottawa off to a quick start. The Alouettes bouncing back here late first quarter on Wendy's Friday Night Football. Normally don't have after one quarter a lead. 7-1 Wendy's Friday Night Football. Rod and Dwayne back with you, and normally each week we have a CFL Excellent Adventure.
It's kind of become our thing.
It is. We did the tandem bike, we did the zip line, and then, well, how do we get to the stadium off the Rideau Canal? Well, I had a little idea. Thought maybe we go by water. This is the first, and beautiful kayaks. Then got out on the canal, which is spectacular. Of course, you should see it if you've never been to Ottawa. Go kayaking, why don't you? And I was looking for Dwayne, my partner. I was waiting for him, and of course, being the fullback that he was, the captain of our team. Way to work it. I know you were exhausted.
Oh, it's not as easy as it looks, Blackie.
Our excellent adventure in the Canadian Football League continues. As we continue, second quarter underway. Rakeem Cato, the Alouettes. First and 10. Red zone time. End zone time. Almost caught by Fred Stamps. Again, missed last week in Calgary. Alouettes happy to have one of the best receivers in the land back in the lineup.
And you've got a combination of routes here. Nick Lewis on the out, Fred Stamps on the go. On the outside, he gets a step. And what's often just a clearing route in that combination, but once he gets a step on his guy, Rakeem Cato takes a look to the veteran Stamps in the end zone.
Second down. Here's the rush. Alex Charette is going to be stopped by Brandon McDonald on the corner. And the Alouettes are forced again to bring out their field goal units. So another drive engineered by Cato is going to come to a conclusion here with a field goal attempt.
And in what's become a very common scene for the Alouettes, there's the veteran Nick Lewis chatting with Cato after that series. The red-black defense coming up big with their backs against the wall deep in their own territory here.
Boris Beatty, who missed earlier from the 43. This is a chip shot. This one is good. So now it's a 3-point game. Brandon Bridge with the hold. Again, two teams, you might not be surprised to see their struggles in the red zone. They are last and second last coming in points scored offensively this season, and last and second last proficiency inside the 20-yard line.
And two teams, as this season progresses, it certainly are going to have to try and turn that trend around. We've seen the REDBLACKS off to a good start here this evening, but as you said, still a work in progress for Montreal.
As we get into the second 6 of the season, second third of the Canadian Football League season. Hand off again to Walker. Shamon Walker, something to prove this year after breaking his forearm last September and shelved for the rest of the season. The former Tiger Cat. They really have not run the football very much at all this year.
No, they haven't. And through the first couple games of the year, 2 wins for Ottawa. Those were the most productive games on the ground. It wasn't just a matter of running out the clock late in the game, but a commitment earlier in the game to that ground attack.
3-man rush time, batted down, and not even sure if that was batted. It looked like it was thrown right into the back of one of the offensive linemen. There was Cash Money. Alan Michael Cash has got 3 knockdowns on the season already.
I think Alan Michael Cash is starting to fancy himself a pretty dangerous pass defender here. Leads the Alouettes now. No matter how this one happened, he's going to take it. His 3rd knockdown of the year to lead the team, but he's also got 2 picks.
Does that count when you just knock it down with your grill? Right in the face mask.
I think the big fella's going to take him however they come.
Anthony Alix. Interesting tidbit. 2 kickers in this game, both born in France. Beatty and this guy, Anthony Alix, and this is not a good kick. But he's lucky, I believe it bounced. If it went out in the air between the 20s, it would have been a penalty. Still not a good kick for Anthony Alix. S.J. Green, couple of catches already tonight. Big game player. Big game here tonight in Ottawa. Wendy's Friday Night Football rolls on. Ottawa has always been a hotbed for young football players. How about this guy, Patrice Rene, getting a lot of Division I offers in the NCAA. We might see him in the CFL someday. We might see him in the NFL. Patrice is joining us now, a local guy, just 17 years old, defensive back.
Yes, sir.
How excited are you right now about all of the stuff that's going on in your life?
I'm very excited, just to be able to, put on for my city, Ottawa. It's here I was raised, I'm very excited about the opportunities that have been blessed with by God and everything like that. I'm just ready to put a show on.
Live interview tonight with Dwayne Ford. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Fordy,
right,
I know you've been watching this guy.
I have for sure. So 28 Division I offers, and you're set to announce the decision tomorrow. You're not. I know you're not going to give us the sneak
Do it
preview
now.
tonight.
You can do it now if you want.
But give us the short list. Who are the finalists, Patrice?
Yes, sir.
You're putting him on the spot there, Dwayne.
As far as finalists goes, I'm down to Ohio State, Rutgers, and Virginia Tech. Those are the final 3.
Now, when you were a young guy playing the game in this area, did you ever dream of those schools being offered? Did you always want to be a Division I player, a professional football player?
Yes, sir. You know, I started playing football at the age of 7. You know, it's always been a dream of mine to kind of play in the big leagues, you know, and I've watched college football all my life, you know. I was a big fan of Ohio State, Michigan games, those big rivalries, and, you know, to be able to kind of live it right now is truly a blessing.
Look at this, Brandon Rutley. Well, you know, do you follow some of the players in the Canadian Football League now that Ottawa has the CFL back? Do you follow some of the players in some of the potential schools, knowing that they also played at Ohio State and Rutgers and places like that?
Yeah, for sure. You know, one of the players actually, Javon Johnson, he went to Iowa, and he's been coaching me for the past couple of weeks, and I had the chance to meet him and everything, and, you know, it's been great, and I'm very happy that, you know, Ottawa's got their team back, you know, and I'm very excited about what they're doing, and it's great.
I know one of the key people in your journey has been Victor Todondo over at Gridiron Academy. Tell us a little bit about the training and the program there.
Coach Vic over there at Gridiron and his wife Charmaine, they do a tremendous job with, you know, getting local athletes, you know, a chance to, you know, make it out and kind of do better for themselves. And, you know, I was very fortunate to meet Coach Vic at an early age, and he kind of took me under his wing, and I've been training with him for, I think, 5 years now. And, you know, he's really been a mentor to me and kind of like a second father I could look up to. And he helps us train not only to become better football players, but to become better men. And with them, you know, I've been able to meet great people, great coaches, and, you know, I'm where I am today because of him.
So now the Alouettes scrimmage 1st and 10 from the 16. Rakeem Cato, impressive so far. And out of the backfield is Carl Volding. So who was your guy when you were growing up, 7, even into your teen years? Who does Patrice Rene? Who did you idolize? Who do you want to be?
I was a big fan of
Javon Johnson.
I was a big fan of Brian Dawkins, you know, for the Eagles. You know, I'm a huge Eagles fan, and, you know, I love the way he played and the intensity he brought to the game of football. And, you know, I was just a big fan of what he brought to the table, and, you know, you can't go wrong with him on your team.
So now another big play for the Alouettes. 2nd and 13. Here comes the rush. Cato's going to run it. Rakeem Cato to the end zone. Touchdown. How about that?
That was nice.
Another Houdini act, Dwayne Ford.
Great job here by Rakeem Cato, and he gets the defense in a quandary every time he gets on the move. Paul LaPolice talked about it during our pregame show. When he starts moving, he's demonstrated over the last couple of weeks that he's typically going to draw the defenders in on the run and then dump it off to a receiver. This time everybody stays with their receivers, so Cato just takes it to the house himself.
Rakeem Cato scampers for his first CFL touchdown. You see the ball into the end zone. Now the 32-yard point after upcoming for Boris Beatty. So you can't give us any hints. We know your finalists. Is it a team that wears red uniforms? But how exciting. Would you like to be out here even someday?
Yeah, you know, even if it's NFL or CFL, you know, getting paid for doing something that you love, you know, it's a great opportunity. And, you know, I'm a very, you know, patriotic guy, and I'm proud to be Canadian, and, you know, the CFL is a great league, and it'd be a great honor to be playing for it.
Kick is up and good, young man. We're proud of you.
Thank you.
Good luck with your decision. We'll be watching you.
Thank you.
Sleep well tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You'll be hearing more about Patrice Rene down the road, and tomorrow, big decision day. Als have their first lead thanks to Rakeem the Dream. Rakeem Cato, touchdown. Als have the lead 11-7. Let's go down to the sideline and look who's out of the studio. in his hood tonight. Looking good. Jock climbing.
Oh, it's fantastic to be on the sideline. There's just so much more that you see down here. And, you know, before the game, I had a chance to talk to a number of the Alouettes, and their coaches drummed it into their heads that in week one, the Red Blacks took it to them physically. They out-hustled them, and they simply beat them physically. The biggest thing that stands out to me so far in this football game is the intensity that which the Alouettes are playing. They are playing at a much higher level than the Red Blacks right now in terms of physical. And you can see it in all of Rutley's plays, for example. He wants it more than the Red Blacks, and Red Blacks need to match that intensity if they want to stay in this football game.
All right, thanks, Jocko. Thanks for being with us tonight. Jock Sanders from one Jock to another, fumble the football. Got it back, and flags are flying. Something about Ottawa and guys named Jock.
Well, this really is Jock climbing's old hood, the glebe area of Ottawa. As I recall, Jock was our Jock, big star at the glebe high school.
King of the glebe. Now Bradbury's sorting this out. Looks like it's going to be an awfully long field, the longest field to go here for the Red Blacks. Alouettes have seized momentum here. And really because of Brandon Rutley and Rakeem Cato.
When you look at what Brandon Rutley has done going back to last week in the Calgary game, he stood out. Every time he touched the ball, whenever he was given an opportunity in that ball game, he made plays, and he continues to do it here tonight, making the most of an opportunity.
Illegal block, Ottawa, number 47. That penalty's declined. Major foul, unnecessary roughness, horse collar tackle, Montreal 36. So that penalty will be accepted from the point ball dead. First down.
There's their mascot here, Big Joe. And we'll take a look at the horse collar, so it won't be as long as they first feared for the Red Blacks. There's the horse collar tackle. Sanders gets swarmed. So because of that, they'll actually scrimmage from their 20-yard line. Henry Burris coming off an outstanding game against his former team, the Stampeders. Direct snap to Walker. Gabriel Napton trying to chase him down. Parker gets him, then Napton. Siobhan Walker has a 4-yard gain.
And you get a look at the speed of Gabriel Napton, a guy who came in, made an immediate impact last year as a rookie, stood out in camp, earned a starting job, has been terrific throughout.
Burris, 8 of 13, 90 yards already, and the touchdown to Jackson. Send out 5 receivers, make it 6. Penalty flag. Somebody jumped. Once again, it's Walker on the receiving end, close to a first down, but will this call go against Ottawa?
Offside, Ottawa, number 88. Penalty is declined. Third down.
Looked like Brad Sinopoli had a head start there, so they'll decline that, make it third down, and Rick Campbell's team will boot it away. Second 2 and out, induced by this Montreal D. There's Logan. Malik's not a good kick last time, just 25 yards. Better.
That's a fucking mistake.
Logan slips and slides up near the Ottawa 50. They'll have good field position to start, bringing their offense back on the field with a 4-point lead, and Rakeem Cato starting to shred that Ottawa D. This is Wendy's Friday Night Football. Michael Sam's first game in the Canadian Football League. With more on that, let's go to the sideline once again. Here's Paul Hollingsworth.
Well, Rod, during the game, we heard Dwayne say that Michael Sam only wants to be a football player. We are seeing clear evidence that he is also a respected teammate. Before the game, lots of excitement on the Alouettes bench. Player after player, teammate after teammate coming up to Michael Sam, patting him on the back, getting him pumped up for the game. And after his first series of downs when he came off, the mood was almost celebratory on the sidelines. The Alouettes teammates embracing him, showing lots of excitement as they welcome him into the CFL, and this is first half of his first ever game as a pro. Rod?
Yeah, it's been kind of pedestrian so far, a couple of plays, and as you might expect, new league, new team, new rules, a new era which is written on that spatting, that wrist tape for Michael Sam. It's going to be very interesting to see how he develops as a player in the CFL.
Yeah, and he'll be given an opportunity likely over the next couple of games, playing in spot duty on that D-line rotation.
2nd and 10. Cato now has to dance. Down he goes. Cato ran into Josh Burke. Aston Whiteside finished him off.
And this is just a case of the entire pocket getting collapsed around Rakeem Cato. Aston Whiteside likely going to be credited with this sack. He's the right defensive end at the bottom of your screen. But as you said, it looked like Cato tripped over the feet of his offensive lineman.
That ball will bounce into the end zone over the head of Jock Sanders. Another single point put on the board here for the Alouettes. Make it 12-7 now. Back to the Sam story as he comes back on the field for another sequence here. Michael Sam arrived here early. The Sam cam was out. Everybody was watching, and you know, there's been a lot of mystery surrounding when he would play, how he would play, and some of the messages on his wristbands. There it is, new era, fearless, no mercy. It really has been a fascinating story that has developed, and we'll see exactly how Michael Sam, the football player, proceeds north of the border. There he is, right side, top of screen. The rush is on. Sam now trying to track down Siobhan Walker. Ran out of running room.
Nice job there by Darren Kitchens to track down the play. We take a look at Michael Sam fighting the pressure from the backside. You know, the advice he was given by D-line assistant Anwar Stewart, a longtime Canadian Football League star in that position. He said, play fast, be quick off the ball, play with speed, and take that corner. Exactly as you saw Michael Sam do, crashing down off the end on that one.
2nd down and 7, just a 3-yard pickup from the 37. There's the rush. The bubble screen out here for Walker. Close to a first down, has it. Kyler Ellsworth in on the tackle, middle linebacker for the Alouettes, but Siobhan Walker out of the backfield. This is where he really started to cut his teeth in the Canadian Football League with Henry Burris in Hamilton on this play. Very similar.
Right here you're just seeing a different look from the Montreal Alouettes. This is 4 defensive ends on the field looking to get a little bit of speed in terms of that pass rush.
Ball thrown behind. Greg Ellingson on the far side.
Trying to get some mismatches out there as well. Darren Kitchens lining up as a linebacker in that look, and you saw John Bowman, a defensive end his whole career, lining up on the nose where he can athletically be a real mismatch for an interior D lineman.
Back to the Michael Sam story as you see an injured Alouette, Darren Kitchens. The thing with Michael Sam might be a knock. It could also be a positive. He's a bit of a tweener for the CFL.
Well, a tweener for the NFL, a tweener for the Canadian Football League as well. As you mentioned, a guy who's maybe a little bit stockier, a little bit heavier than your typical defensive end in the Canadian Football League. Length and quickness, things that they're kind of striving for at that spot, but it's difficult to argue with the productivity of his college career at Missouri.
Well, not only in Missouri, but also when he went to the National Football League. His first professional debut really was a year ago tomorrow when he was with the Rams in preseason play. He played 4 games, had 11 tackles and 3 sacks. Then, of course, could not continue with the Rams. His NFL dream short-circuited, and then found his way to the Canadian Football League. Jim Popp was able to acquire his rights, and again, it's such a small body of work so far, but this is what he's done here tonight.
As I said, one of the challenges for Michael Sam will relate to fitness, and this is one of the things he's had to work on since coming back post-training camp. You're talking about a league where your opposition is typically going to throw the ball 30 to 40 times a game with a 20-second time clock. As a defensive lineman, you better be ready to run on this 65-yard wide field.
Well, against a team that throws it all the time, like the Red Blacks, and another knockdown. That's John Bowman. Bats that down with some angst. And another drive stalls for Ottawa.
Bowman here back at his usual defensive end spot, working against Sir Vincent Rogers. It's just enough push. Getting those hands up in the passing lane as he looks at the eyes of quarterback Henry Burris.
Anthony Elise averages 43 yards. A kick, this one a shortish one. Steph Logan gets a couple blocks and then is buried at the 40-yard line. Week 7 in the Canadian Football League continues tomorrow. Saskatchewan Roughriders desperate for a win. They're 0-6 against the Toronto Argonauts, as the Argos finally have a home date, and we're in August. TSN 1, 3, 4, and 5 is 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific time. Last night, the BC Lions, in a thriller, knocked off the Edmonton Eskimos. The key for this season, the theme so far, has been parity and balance. And down goes Brandon Rutley, but that's going to be a 15-yarder. Aston Whiteside got him too close to that face mask.
Yeah, the play was great by Whiteside right up until the takedown.
Major foul, face masking. Ottawa, number 91. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Just great upfield penetration. He's the front side defensive end there. But the hands up high get him in trouble.
These two teams came in, Dwayne, least penalized in the CFL so far this season. We'll see how that plays out here tonight. Here comes the blitz. Cato will chuck it away. That's what Tom Higgins really liked about Rakeem Cato early in his development in this rookie season, is his ability to just throw it away instead of trying to do too much.
And he said this has been one of the learning points for Cato, and something he considers a sign of that progress, of that learning as a young quarterback, and particularly
Objectionable conduct, Ottawa, number 95. It's a 10-yard penalty. It will become first down.
So just when we talk about penalties and the discipline, objectionable conduct against Moulton Hopkins. Hopkins flagged for that. Not sure if he was arguing maybe the fact that Cato had thrown it away. That's a critical penalty, costly one here. Nick Lewis rumbles, crashes up near the 35, and another penalty flag. I jinxed him.
This is one well away from the play. Shot by the Ottawa defensive back. I think it was Brandon McDonald that took a shot at Sam Giguère.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Ottawa, number 22. That penalty will be applied at the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Well, this drive has been aided completely by penalty flags.
Keep an eye, Brandon Thompson well away from the play. Jaguar blocking him. Then you see right at the end of the play the shot with the hands up high. And the key word in the call, unnecessary. Unnecessary play by Brandon McDonald. Absolutely nothing being gained there.
Well, Rakeem Cato's been very good driving the football tonight, but Ottawa's helped him here. Now the crowd raises up the decibel level. Four-man rush. Cato again. Now he's in trouble. Chased down. Throws it from his back foot. It's picked off by Antoine Pruneau. Just when we talked about good decision making, that wasn't a wise one.
The rookie makes a rookie mistake here.
And he says it's on me. Whiteside was the pursuer.
Yeah, Whiteside supplies that heat from that left defensive end spot. Cato rolling to his right, trying to throw this one back to his left, which is going to be a tough throw at the best of times. And a long throw as you see the reaction time of the Ottawa defenders. Pruneau, the second year Red Black, able to get to that one.
Let's go. Let's go.
Former Montreal Carabin, 4th overall pick last year, Antoine Pruneau. Look out, there's the rush over the top. Again for Jackson, short of the first down. Might have 7 or 8. Up near the 24-yard line with clock ticking towards the 3-minute warning. This young man is an all-Canadian player, is he not?
Yeah, no doubt. One of the only nationals in the league playing that strong side linebacker position. The Red Blacks took a chance last year moving him there instead of trying to shoehorn him into the traditional free safety spot. They felt that was his position. He's been tremendous.
Red Blacks will move the sticks. And we'll have some time to talk about this drive here because the 3-minute warning is upon us. 12-7 game. Bitter rivals at it tonight. Interesting stories developing at TD Place and Wendy's Friday Night Football. 3-minute warning time in Ottawa.
Rod and the boys back in the studio getting set for Live at the Half and Wendy's Friday Night Football. We'll talk about Rakeem Cato and a series of Ottawa plays leading up to the Cato touchdown. The coach will also take a look at Al's running back Brandon Rutley, and we'll talk to Jock at TD Place as we head back there now and join Rod and Dwayne.
All right, thank you so much, Rod Smith. Jock climbing on the sidelines with Paul Hollingsworth, with Captain Dwayne Ford in the booth. Henry Burris in the pocket, decides to tuck it and take it because Gabriel Napton was in hot pursuit.
Napton continues to impress with his athletic ability week in and week out, as does that guy, 40-year-old quarterback Henry Burris. Still getting it done.
Jim Popp just finds players, does he not? GM of the Alouettes, a guy who was in the Indoor Football League, former Wyoming Cowboy. Looks like another first down here for the Red Blacks. And every time they get a first down here at TD Place, south side of the stadium signals first down. Friday night lights on here. 1st and 10. Hot read for Ernest Jackson. Let's go down to Jock climbing.
Well, it's been fascinating to watch this Red Black offense work, and Henry Burris all week has been focused on trying to get his deep ball going. As we all know, we really struggled with that this year. Had some success last week. They've been practicing in practice no matter what drill they're doing. The receivers take proper splits. They run full speed in order for him to get his rhythm and his deep ball. We haven't seen it yet this game. We might see it soon.
Well, we might see it with Mo Price. There's a pump fake. They haven't really been able to get Mo Price going here. in Ottawa, the former Stampeder speedster. They did have the deep ball with Chris Williams, who's not playing tonight, but they haven't had that bomb mentality yet.
Well, and there have been some times when they've tried to take that shot with Price, but you've had a combination of factors. Obviously, for Jason Moss, you've got 5 new and pretty talented receivers you're trying to get involved. Price has struggled at times with drops, and as John mentioned, Henry Burris is still trying to get his timing, particularly with Price on those deep balls.
Montreal jumped but got back onside. 2nd and 5. Another open man. Greg Ellingson again will move the sticks up near the Montreal 40. Just over 90 seconds to go before halftime.
Ottawa has been in this no-huddle mode for much of the first half of this ball game.
Four-man rush out of the backfield. Look out. Siobhan Walker was looking over that shoulder, and Billy Parker spied him perfectly, so there's going to be a loss on this play. And it's going to be another throwing down for Burris and company.
I would label Billy Parker as one of the unsung heroes of this Montreal Alouette defense, a guy who's in his 7th year at that halfback spot. 34-year-old out of William and Mary, been a starter from day one. Steady and consistent throughout his career.
2nd and 10. And there should be whistles because there was a ton of movement at the line. Montreal signaling that the Ottawa front line moved, and they may have a point. They'll back him up.
Procedure. 64. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Jermichael Dean, star at Michigan State. Calgary Stampeder. He moved.
The left guard, he tries to keep his balance here.
Whoopsie.
Switches a little bit. We mentioned Henry Burris likely mixing up those snap counts, trying to deal with the Alouettes changing fronts in their blitz game. He caught one of his own on that one.
10th play of the drive, 2nd and 15. They have to get in field goal position here. Burris out of the pocket and is going down, fumble football. Montreal has it. Henry Burris wanted to take off, lost the football. The REDBLACKS have fumbled more than any other team. They just haven't lost it as much. They fumbled 10 times this season, only losing it twice. They lost it this time, though.
Just a 3-man front here from the Alouettes and a slide protection. But once again, Napton, as he gets the mismatch, left alone on the backside of that protection against the running back, where ideally you'd have someone turning back against a 3-man front, so you stay big on big in terms of your protection.
Chris Milo comes into punt, and they did not declare that a turnover. They declared it a 3rd down, so it was not a fumble lost by Henry Burris. So Chris Milo comes in. They're not happy with Anthony Alix, either that or he's hurt, punting the football. And keep in mind that Alix is also an international. Chris Milo is national. Delbert Alvarado was an international. That's one of the reasons why as well that Chris Milo has found employment here.
Yeah, well, and I think Milo gives them some options as well, if they're maybe a little more comfortable with him in a directional situation as opposed to what you call a hang time situation on the punts. As he's done that role, he's performed that role with the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the past.
So 40 seconds to go before halftime, and again, no turnover by Burris. They said he was down, so the Alouettes look like they're content to run this and take a lead into the locker room.
Well, the Alouettes, in large part thanks to Brandon Rutley in that offensive line, averaging over 8 yards a pop on first downs in this ballgame. That's their average first down gain. REDBLACKS shutting things down on Rutley between the tackles on that one, but beware of the possibility of receiver sweeps as well. They've used the motion to try and create space for Rutley, but haven't handed it off to a receiver yet.
Redley again bashing forward and getting some help from his Hoggies there. They push him close to a first down. Jeff Parrott. The little shove for Brandon Rutley. It's going to be 3rd and 2. They'll mark it at the 21-yard line, but 8 seconds to go. It's not going to matter. They're just going to let the clock wind down here. Again, these two teams met game 1, week 1. Red Blacks won that game 20-16. Alouettes have the lead here at the half on Wendy's Friday Night Football, and Rakeem Cato's looked awfully good. Montreal led in game 1 13-5. They have a 12-7 lead here as we send it back to Rod and the boys in the studio.
It's Friday Night Football, yeah! Boys are all here, gonna put on a show. Come on! Say get ready to go, yeah! It's Friday night, you know.
Antoine Pruneau's first CFL interception, one of the highlights. So too the early touchdown from Hank Burris to Ernest Jackson. And Henry Burris is with Paul Hollingsworth.
Henry, before the game, you mentioned the Alouettes defense, a tough opponent, very tough in the first half. How do you break through in the second half?
Well, I mean, they made some plays. They got a couple of bat downs there and critical situations there where we had a chance to, get a completion and possibly move the chains. But they made some plays. But, we got to get back in sync. We got to get our rhythm going. They've done a good job of negating that by making plays on their end. But, I mean, we came out and got to a great start. Now we got to get that mojo back on our side and, keep our defense off the field, keep them rested, and go put some points on the board.
Thanks for this.
Hey, thank you.
Henry Burris and the Ottawa Redblacks used that no-huddle offense a lot in the first half and right off the bat dictating the pace of this football game. One of the things to note, as we've spent so much time talking about Michael Sam's CFL debut, is that what that means is that the Alouettes have dressed 8 defensive linemen. They've got 2 full units. You're not tiring those guys out as much with no huddle as you normally might be.
Steph Logan turns the corner. Nice return set up here for the diminutive Steph Logan. Former South Dakota Coyote, former BC Lion, played in the NFL as well. Nice return. Here's a look at some of the leaders in that first half, particularly Brandon Rutley and Rakeem Cato.
Yeah, well, Rutley is the one that absolutely jumps off the page at you. A guy who's averaged 10 yards a touch in this ball game. Been an impact player. Really, again, since coming into the lineup partway through last week's game, it seems like every time he's touched the ball, he's made something happen.
Good starting position again. S.J. Green slips a tackle. Javon Johnson couldn't bring him down, and Antoine Pruneau was there. This game really similar to the first game of the season score-wise, but personnel-wise a lot different. Of course, Rakeem Cato wasn't in that first game. A lot of players didn't play in that first game.
Here, just a quick hitter off play action to S.J. Green. We've seen them run a very similar look to Nick Lewis. Receiver motioning across the formation, gives a block look before continuing to the flat.
2nd and 9. Cato's in trouble, and he is buried. Keith Sholigan was there. Former Saskatchewan Rough Rider.
A combination on the front side of this. There you see Sholigan. There you see Aston Whiteside. And it's all about discipline when you play a guy like Rakeem Cato. You've got to be patient. You've got to stay in those rush lanes as he starts scrambling around. You can't get all over the place.
Jock Sanders trapped, cuts back. Minimal return. So Henry Burris, his team down 5. They were down 8 in the first game of the season in Montreal.
And Henry Burris, an impressive 15 of 22 in that first half. Ernest Jackson, Brad Sinopoli as two inside guys, very involved here. Again, look for where they've had their greatest success, and we said the same thing when these teams met in week 1. The quick hitters to those inside receivers have given Ottawa their greatest success offensively.
Red Blacks have to increase production on first down. This will help. Mo Price's first catch, close to a first down. There was a significant difference. The two offenses, their average yards on first down in that first half. The Alouettes have the lead because of it.
Yeah, Alouettes averaging 8 yards on first down, which obviously on average puts you in a very good position in second down, able to mix things up a little bit with your play calling. Ottawa 5.7 yards, their average first down gain.
Setting up another 2nd and 3 for Walker. He'll reset the downs.
There you
Marches
see
over the 25-yard line.
Brought a perfect example of what a solid first down production allows you. Puts you in a very good position, mix things up. You don't want to be in those obvious pass situations in second down, because that's where the defense pins their ears back and gains an advantage, especially a unit like Noel Thorpe's Alouettes.
Burris trying to find Ellingson. He'll air it out again. Chess match continues. Offense to defense.
Well, Noel Thorpe, a guy who's been around the world of Canadian football, a couple stops in the world of CIS, most recently with the Montreal Carabins. He's been previously with the Alouettes as well as the Edmonton Eskimos. Now back here with the Owls, leading a terrific unit.
Walker stays in for blocking help here. Burris lets it go. What a bullet. Hauled in by Brad Sinopoli, former thrower turned catcher.
Well, Brad Sinopoli gonna fight upfield, work for that inside position. And there you see it. Good release off Billy Parker, inside position, ball's on its way. Nice timing route between quarterback and receiver.
20-yard gain, 1st and 10, 46. Burris fires again. Ellingson, penalty flag on the far side of the field, kind of near that area where illegal contact takes place. See what it is.
Illegal contact on a receiver. Montreal, number 17. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Again, new rule in the CFL. You cannot touch a receiver. You can jam him at the line. 5-yard jamming, bumping area, and after that, you can't touch him.
And that one called against Billy Parker, the halfback.
There it was. Just into Montreal territory. Red Blacks trailing 12-7. And up the middle they go. So just like their first drive of the ball game, their first sequence offensively here in this second half has been a good one.
They're going to stay with that no huddle mode.
7-yard gain. They load up the box. And gobbled up. Maybe getting to the 45 a little bit before that. He had to get to the 44 for a first down. We'll see where the spot is. This is going to require a measurement. It's going to be 3rd down.
But I think the Alouettes almost lulled Ottawa into a full sense of security leading up to the snap here, as they started off with a 3-man front, which looks like it's going to be a great position to run.
Look at this. Quick strike here. And it works. Not to interrupt your thought.
Right.
But my goodness, that was quick. Did you see how fast the Alouettes had to get back?
Yeah, love the play calling, love that mindset from Ottawa. Henry Burris stays in the short yardage situation and not allowing the D to get set. Wow. And it goes back to the thought from the previous play where the Alouettes, with a longer snap count, were able to change their front, which made it much more difficult for Ottawa to run the ball.
Red Blacks quick at it again. Lob toss. Ellingson. Whether they score or not, they may set a record for quickest time to ball at scrimmage on this drive.
Again, going back to that goal of dictating the pace of the ball game. We've seen the Alouettes use 8 different D linemen in this game, but they typically haven't rolled their guys mid-drive, mid-series, and we've seen some long Ottawa drives.
3-man front this time. 2nd and 3. Again, it's Walker. Siobhan Walker moves them again. Close to the 30. Another first down for Ottawa. 11th play of the drive upcoming.
And keeping Siobhan Walker very involved in this offense. Again, we go back to those first couple wins of the season for the Red Blacks, and one of the things that stood out was the increased involvement of Siobhan Walker and the ground game as a whole.
Red Black team playing fast here. Sending out 6. 3-man rush over the top. Jock Sanders got drilled. Make that Khalil Payton. Payton going up and coming down. And feeling the brunt of it.
Well, you've got to admire the courage of Khalil Payton, because he knows he's going right into the teeth of the defense here. See that Bermuda triangle of Alouette defenders surrounding him.
Khalil Payton being attended to. Takes a big hit. Drive continues for the Red Blacks when we come back. Good news for Khalil Payton. Here's a guy who's been starving to get back in the lineup. I don't think anything's going to keep him out, again with Chris Williams unavailable tonight.
Well, one of the things that was neat to see was the respect from a group of veteran receivers. The Alouettes, S.J. Green, Fred Stamps, and Nick Lewis, all giving Payton a tap on the shoulder pads as he went by their bench.
2nd down conversion. Ottawa 8 of 13 in the first half. Burris out of the pocket, on the roll, throws far sideline at the marker, but penalty flag in the backfield. And as Burris came out of the pocket, it might be a hold here.
Holding. Ottawa, number 67. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
So 2nd and long now. Colin Kelly, right tackle.
Colin Kelly working against the veteran John Bowman on this play. And this is one of the challenges. Playing offensive line is it's in the only positions in sports where you're kind of playing a lot of the time with your back to the play. You don't know what's going on or what your angle needs to be. You sometimes have to just feel it. And as Henry Burris stepped to the outside, he could have let John Bowman go inside, but Kelly wouldn't know that.
Burris changes the play, now sets up the hit screen for Mo Price. And he's swarmed. Not even get to the initial line of scrimmage, so the best here that Ottawa will do is a field goal to pull a little closer. And again, coming into the game with their new kicker in Chris Milo. But Milo, of course, has been around for many years with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Released after week 1, Paul McCallum came in. And boy, what a cruel business football is. Milo gets pushed out the door in Saskatchewan. But as a door opened here, Delbert Alvarado was out, and Chris Milo is back. This from the 40. And it's good. 2-point ball game here. Anybody's ball game here. Typical week in the Canadian Football League. Down to the wire.
Well, people might be wondering about Anthony Cavillo and just how he's doing as a receiver coach here in Montreal. I had a chance to talk to a few of the receivers, Nick Lewis among them. They absolutely love Anthony Cavillo as a receiver coach. Look, they know he's not going to necessarily teach them receiver technique, but he is so detailed and so prepared. In fact, Nick Lewis, in all the years he's been playing in the CFL, has never had the kind of detailed reports that he's getting from Anthony Cavillo week in and week out. And he's not afraid to tell the veterans when they're wrong.
Thank you, Choco. Jock would know about the detail-oriented Anthony Calvillo. He did it as a quarterback. We used to joke with him, you know, what time he got to the stadium before practice when he was playing, and he said, you know, 4:35 a.m. and he said, well, it must be easier now. You don't have to do that anymore. Are you kidding? I don't sleep at all now as an assistant coach.
Yeah, well, I would suggest AC might be one of those few guys who was already working on coach's hours as a player.
Well, you knew it was a natural progression. Most prolific passer in CFL history. Cato passes it to Fred Stamps on the go. Stamps now in a foot race. Stamps down to the 20-yard line. And a big play for the Montreal Alouettes as they go behind cover. And speaking of prolific receivers, Fred Stamps is one of the greatest.
It's just a great release here, and Cato sees it right at the line of scrimmage, untouched. Because that quick move at the line of scrimmage is Fred Stamps' free release to get on top of the defender, Abdul Kanay, and Cato hits him right in stride.
54-yard connection right near the red zone again, where the Alouettes and REDBLACKS have struggled here tonight for the most part. Can they punch it in? Brandon Rutley. The plug-and-play backfield for the Alouettes has been a revelation the last couple of years. Whether it's Brandon Whitaker, Terrell Sutton, plug in this guy.
Procedure, no end, Montreal. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That play will be taken away.
And Brandon Rutley, the guy who's kicked around the Canadian Football League for a couple of years, first with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, then with the Alouettes. The guy who has really impressed with his combination, his mixture of skills. A power guy who can drop the shoulder when he needs to, but proven to be very shifty in space as well.
Now outside the red zone, 1st and 15, going to the end zone, jump ball. S.J. Green wants a flag, will not get it. Abdul Kanay. Good one-on-one battle. Kanay, the halfback, and S.J. Green, the super slot.
And Cato is looking at S.J. Green as go-to guy on this side, but watch the release by Sam Giguère to the wide side of the field. Manages to get inside his guy and gets over top on the Sam linebacker, Pruneau. It's maybe a little better odds, a little easier throw with better separation had Cato looked that way.
Here comes the rush. There goes the football. And it's picked off by Brandon McDonald. He should go down, and he does. And another bad decision by Rakeem Cato. That ball wasn't even close. The pressure was on. He chucked it up. And the REDBLACKS pick it off again. .12-10 game. Costly turnover. End zone.
This one just looks like some mixed signals between Fred Stamps and Rakeem Cato. Cato's going to put this one up. He's looking more to the middle of the field. Fred Stamps is looking for the ball to be more to the corner, as you'll see him stem his guy to the inside. And there it is, stem to the inside, pushes McDonald in. He breaks out, but the ball thrown in, leaving McDonald as the only guy in position to make a play on that ball.
Nothing new for Brandon McDonald, a former NFLer. 80 games there with Cleveland, Arizona, Detroit, and Tampa Bay. Burris now has some time, is going to scamper. Little straight arm. Picks up some yardage here. 7-yard run for Henry Burris. Chased down by Nicolas Boulet.
And it's that second unit in on the defensive line for the Alouettes again.
Well, what a hit there on 2nd and 3. Marco Briette, another former Canadian college quarterback, turned free safety in the CFL, and a hard hitter. Watch this. Boom.
I mean, Barrett is a guy who fits the versatility for this team. He's got a number of starts as a middle linebacker as well as a free safety in this league on his resume.
Look at that. Quickly again to the line. Burris goes forward. Will get the first down. The toughest job right now is for the official to place the football because the Red Blacks want to move so quickly. Michael Sam on the line. Another sequence for him here tonight, getting more reps, as Tom Higgins said. First CFL game tonight. Laying it in there for Greg Ellingson. Much more yardage on first downs in this half so far for the Red Blacks. As time ticks to 3.5 in the third quarter. Makes those second down plays a whole lot easier. Pistol formation now. Walker goes beside Burris, takes the rock, gets another first down. Proceeds to the 53-yard line.
And you're seeing the boost that the Ottawa run game is getting by that first down production, because you've got a defense that's off balance on second down. Is it going to be run? Is it going to be pass? They have no idea what's coming. Makes Ottawa that much harder to defend when the ball's in Siobhan Walker's hands.
Continuing to no huddle. Burris again delivers to Ellingson. Another first down. I'm not sure the Red Blacks have huddled even once in this third quarter.
Nice job here by Siobhan Walker as they continue in hurry-up mode. He's got that blitz pickup on the linebacker Venable that keeps the pass lane open for Burris.
Again, the Alouettes on a direct snap. Walker comes back, cuts now, has some block. Siobhan Walker down near the 10. His best run. Huge play. 35 yards, and he got some help from his friends.
Yeah, keep an eye on the right tackle, Colin Kelly, getting out in front, right guard. Nolan McMillan, those guys open the way. A great block downfield by Greg Ellingson, scoring the knockdown.
How much is all of this related to the hurry up? The fact they're getting that Alouette defense out of rhythm.
Yeah, there's no question. They're getting them out of rhythm, not letting them settle in. Montreal's a team that likes to be able to move around, give you some different looks. You snap it quickly where basically you're declaring wherever they initially line up, that's where you're going to block them. It's going to help you out if you don't give them time to move.
They'll scrimmage from the 11. Gabriel Napton is hurt. We'll step aside and come back to TD Place in Ottawa.
Well, it's been fascinating to watch this one-on-one battle with Jonathan Hefney on the corner and Greg Ellingson at wide receiver. And Hefney is yelling at the Red Black sideline saying, I know you're running it out on me. I know you're running it out on me. And Ellingson goes out and runs an out on him. He has caught 4 out passes on him. Hefney knows it's coming, knows by the alignment. He actually said to the Red Black bench, I can tell by where he's lining up he's going to run an out. And yet Ellingson continues to do it successfully. And they've marched all the way down the field and had tremendous first down success by running that quick out on Hefney on the short side.
All right, thank you, Jock Climby. So Gabriel Napton out. Not for sure how long, so that means more Michael Sam in the rotation.
Well, you wonder positionally if Jonathan Hefney, the second he moves up to challenge Ellingson on that out, if that's when it's going to turn into an out and up.
Red Blacks have not scored a touchdown since their opening drive. Burris to Patrick Lavoie. He'll score. Touchdown, Red Blacks. Lavoie and Venable collide, and they saw off a wood cookie in the end zone. On every touchdown, that's 2 cookies tonight. And right now, the Ottawa Red Blacks are buzzing.
And it's a very similar kind of play conceptually to the first quarter touchdown, opening drive touchdown pass that went to Ernest Jackson. That one a shovel where Henry Burris threatened the outside. This time it's a bootleg with just a little dump off to the fullback, releasing to the flat, Patrick Lavoie, the former Montreal Alouette.
Inside 2 minutes, third quarter. What an interesting ball game this has been. Last team to touch it tonight might win this thing. Chris Milo has been perfect tonight on field goals and point afters. That's what cost Delbert Alvarado his job. Missed a field goal and a point after in the last game, even though he hit the game winner. And how about Patrick Lavoie, another member of the Rouge et Or Laval Vanier Cup champions? Hasn't been seeing a lot of football this season. Only a couple of touches. That's his third catch. But that's the most important one. That's his first touchdown of the season.
Yeah, Patrick Lavoie missed a little bit of time with injury, but is an important part of this Ottawa offense. A guy who does it all, does the dirty work for you in terms of doing some banging and blocking in both the run and pass game. A very capable receiver. Made a splash his first year in the Canadian Football League with the Montreal Alouettes.
So 7 points, 7 key points off of a big turnover by Brandon McDonald in the end zone.
Followed up by a terrific time-eating defense grinding drive.
So now a 5-point red-black advantage. Logan behind, blocks. Brings it out to the 35-yard line. 1:41 to go here in the third. Time now for our sack tally, brought to you by Purelator. Tackling hunger, a promise we all can help deliver. Sacks are down this season, but the Edmonton Eskimos won't tell you that. 19 sacks per. Ottawa's at 14, certainly number 2 in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, Ottawa climbing the ranks this season. No question. Aston Whiteside has had a quick impact in his 2 games in red and black.
Rakeem Cato now in trouble. And oh, what a catch by Charette. How did he catch that ball? That was laid in perfectly by Cato, who was feeling the heat and dropped it into the midst of Alex Charette.
Well, this is one thing you have to love about Rakeem Cato, is you see Charette on the outside here, goes into scramble mode. It's coming my way, means I got to get down the field. Cato drops it in there. And you see the young quarterback unfazed by a couple of interceptions that have been thrown when he's been on the run. Charette, the University of Guelph product, with a big catch there.
Cato, Charette, tip drill. That might have gone 6 the other way. Now, Rakeem Cato has talked about it many times. If you don't know much about this young man, his career that was spawned in the mean streets of Miami and then to Marshall University. He's had a very tough upbringing. Anything he does on the football field does not faze him.
So great poise. A calm that belies his years.
Couple of picks tonight, though. Ran for a touchdown. And another precise pass. That's what he's known for. That golden arm of his, which he called the star when he was growing up. Well, the star is shining bright again.
Well, it's the accuracy of Rakeem Cato. That's the thing that stands out most. And we chatted with Henry Burris about Cato yesterday, and that was one of the things he said. He reminded him a little bit of, as he described, a more mobile version of Dave Dickinson. And obviously, you don't want to get ahead of yourself in comparing a guy to a Hall of Fame-bound quarterback. But in terms of the things that he does well, in terms of the skill set, that's the one that stands out.
Play action again. Cato now. Here comes the heat. Cato rolls and penalty flag downfield. And again, in that area around the 25-yard line, illegal contact on a receiver.
Illegal contact on a receiver. Ottawa, number 22. 10-yard penalty. First down. One more play in this quarter.
So you cannot end a quarter on a penalty, so the clock is at 0. They'll reset for one more. 10 yards added. Drive continues.
And this is an effect, an offshoot effect of the scrambling ability of Rakeem Cato as he extends plays, puts defensive backs in a tough situation, having to cover for an extended period of time.
Penalty flag and whistles. Tomaso Munoz takes a shot at Cato, but I don't think he heard the whistles. It's loud in here tonight. 24,427 SRO.
Offside. Montreal. Number 8. 5-yard penalty. Still first down. Another play in this quarter.
Again, they'll continue with zeros on the board. Complete sellout here tonight at TD Place. What an atmosphere. They've got a winning football team, something they did not have last year. Just 2 wins. They've already had more wins this year than their entire expansion season. The Alouettes, on the other hand, they win one, they lose one, they win one, they lose one. Back and forth they go. Trying to get back to 500. Hurling it over the top for Fred Stamps. That will be the quarter. No flags. Cato will look to the sideline. Close one here tonight. The Ottawa REDBLACKS have the lead after 3 quarters on Wendy's Friday Night Football. 17-12 in the nation's capital. Well, what else in the CFL in 2015 but a close football game? These two teams back at it again. Last time they met, it was 16-13 Montreal after 3, 17-12 Ottawa after 3. Wendy's Friday Night Football. Good to have with us one of the great coaches in Canadian University football, Steve Samara from the Carleton Ravens football team. But we'll get to CIS ball in a second. You're getting a good vantage point for this one tonight.
Oh, this is fabulous. What an atmosphere here tonight. It's great. It's great for football everywhere.
Tell us about what you're seeing so far, particularly this season with a lot of young quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're seeing is that transition between the wily veterans. Now you're getting the young guys, and you can see the game is really changing. A lot of stuff happening out there.
So on 3rd and 15, the Alouettes will now bring out their field goal unit.
And Cato just a little off the mark there, looking for Nick Lewis across the middle.
Steve, you know some of the young CIS players that have come into the game. How about this guy, Thunderfoot, Boris Beatty?
Unbelievable out of Laval. It's his leg is incredible.
This from the 42. Missed one here earlier tonight. Doesn't miss very much, though, does he?
No, he doesn't. He's as consistent as there is in the league for sure.
So, Steve, we've talked so much about football being back in the nation's capital in the CFL level with the REDBLACKS, but football's back in a little bigger way at the CIS level as you're entering now year 3 with the Carleton Ravens. Tell us a little bit about the state of the program.
Well, it's I mean, the past 3 years have just flown by. It's amazing to think that this is year 3. You know, we started with a really young group and stuck with them and added new pieces year to year. And you know, it's kind of that they say in year 3, it's kind of time to step up and get things done.
So Henry Burris from the 35, 1st and 10. Mo Price brought down by Billy Parker. You know, you spent so much time in the Maritimes as well coaching CIS football, but you come here to Ottawa, you see the young kids here. How much of an impact to your program and the programs in and around this city does the REDBLACKS organization have?
I think it's fantastic. You know, they're the pinnacle of where everybody's playing football at, and you see it in the CAFA, then you see with the 2 universities and Panda game coming back. It's great for football.
2nd down and 7. Burris, strong arm. And that's one that Brad Sinopoli usually has. Yeah, REDBLACKS will have to boot.
Oh, Burris put it there, and as we see this one, as you said, get away from Brad Sinopoli just as Billy Parker arrives. But Steve, as you get out on the recruiting trail, obviously you get to see a lot of minor football. Is it much better anywhere than it is here in the nation's capital?
Well, I think you can see the last 2 years, you know, the #1 ranked player came out of Ottawa. I mean, it's it's fantastic, and it just shows, you know, the level of coaching at the minor level and the commitment to the game.
There's Steph Logan. Little juke and a shake. Well, good luck to you and the Ravens. Great to see you, Coach.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Appreciate it. Thank you, Dwayne.
Always
fantastic.
Football is a hotbed in the nation's capital. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC Sierra. We are professional grade. Good one here tonight. Onto the Friday night lights in Ottawa. Rakeem Cato has thrown a couple picks. His team down 2. Boyu, right side, has room. Look at him high step. Jean-Christophe Boyu. You know, it's interesting. We just had Steve Samara up here, and there's a great advertisement, by the way, for CIS football. That young man right there.
Yeah, no question, out of the University of Sherbrooke. But I'll tell you what, we may have to take away his fullback union card if he's going to run like that.
You did that, didn't you?
Well, not quite at that speed. Nice play by the big fella. And this is the role of the fullback in Montreal's offense. Needs sort of a tight end skill set. We see it with Patrick Lavoie, the former Alouette. Now with Ottawa, a guy who can block and do that dirty work, willing to do some banging. But you've got to have those soft hands and some skill as a receiver as well.
A couple of guys who used to compete against each other and drafted in the same year. Antoine Pruneau on that far side of the field, who played at Montreal. You talk about Ottawa being a hotbed, and that's not to give disservice to any other organization, CIS or minor program. How about Quebec as well, and all the teams, particularly the last couple of years with Sherbrooke, with Montreal, and of course led through the years by the Laval Rouge et Or.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't give enough credit to that Laval program. You look at the number of guys around the Canadian Football League produced by Glenn Constantin and that program. I think it's raised the level of CIS football throughout the country, and you see Montreal, the team that has been their greatest competitors over the last number of years, as they finally got over the hump, winning a Vanier Cup in 2014.
Pruneau being attended to, will step aside. Alouettes again moving the football, trailing by 2. The world's greatest collector car auction returns. Barrett Jackson Live from Reno Tahoe continues tomorrow at 3 Eastern on Discovery Velocity. Rod Black, Dwayne Ford, Paul Hollingsworth, and Jock Climbing. And into the game now, Sean Boyette, recently signed by the Ottawa REDBLACKS, a former NFL draft pick with the Colts, played in Denver as well. Antoine Pruneau being worked on the bench. Alouettes continuing to drive this ball. Cato, here's the rush, in trouble, lets it go again. Threads it into Sammy Giguère. Samuel Giguère, another member of the Sherbrooke University there, or has his first catch of the night.
And just an underneath route. Corner Brandon McDonald following him in man coverage. You see McDonald, because there's no rub on the play, which you're typically looking for on a crossing type route. McDonald is able to stay right there and make the stop immediately.
Cato able to hang in with some heat on him. Rutley, 2nd and 1. Looks like he'll get the first down.
A nice cutback there by Brandon Rutley. You know, Rod, I'll tell you one thing as I look at this Ottawa defense, and the challenge with Antoine Pruneau going out of the ball game is that he's a national. He's a Canadian player, one of 3 that starts on defense for Ottawa. Now I'm trying to do the math on their lineup to determine how they're replacing him by putting an American Boyette in the game and still maintaining the ratio.
A reverse. Giguère now. Look at Cato trying to block. And Samuel Giguère gets pummeled as he brought it close to the 18-yard line. A 6-yard pickup, and Giguère will limp back.
On the new man in at free safety, Boyette comes up and gets in on the play. Standing back at a distance, reading it, and then he's downhill all the way to deliver a lick.
Joaquin Cato leading the blocks. Another big second down conversion. Boyette's first game of the CFL.
Timeout. Montreal.
So Montreal wants to use this timeout here. Didn't like the alignment.
As you get into this critical scoring position in a tight ball game. This is one of those times in the fourth quarter that you're trying to preserve those timeouts for. You don't feel like this is a wasted one, but this is a critical situation in which to use one.
Turk Schonert, the offensive coordinator. Tom Higgins, you know, when you think about what Tom Higgins has had to deal with since coming back out of the CFL office as a coach, that 1-7 record last year. He had the Chad Ochocinco. He went through a couple of OCs, a number of quarterbacks. They love this guy here. Second and 4. Rutley slips a tackle, and Brandon Rutley up. Big pickup inside the 10.
Yeah, that's a clutch run from Brandon Rutley. Another great cut. Nice hole created here by that all-Canadian offensive line. Nice fold around there from the center, Luc Brodeur-Jourdain, combining with the right guard, Philip Blake.
Sniffing the end zone again. Chance to regain the lead here. Cato. End zone for Lewis. Javon Johnson having none of that. There was no hope on that one. Unless Nick Lewis sprouted another couple feet. Second and goal. This place is off the charts. REDBLACKS need to stop. Giguère on the corner will score. Touchdown. What a good play call from the Alouettes. And they retake the lead here in Ottawa.
Well, terrific play call with Giguère motioning across the formation before slipping out into the flat. And there you see him, and the defender recognizes it. It's Brandon McDonald recognizes the play that's coming, leaves his receiver, just misses the tackle. Giguère slides in for his second touchdown of the season.
Guy not too long ago used to catch footballs from Henry Burris in Hamilton. Chance to go back home to Quebec. And La Belle Provence. 6-play, 74-yard drive, 3:23. Well, that's been a theme tonight, has it not been? Long drives, clock-chewing drives on both sides. Samuel Giguère puts the Owls up by 5. There he is, latest to pay dirt. Samuel Giguère's second touchdown as an Alouette.
A nicely put together drive here for the Montreal Alouettes. Mixing it up, getting different people involved, but the key guy, Sam Giguère, as receiver, as ball carrier, as touchdown scorer. Giguère punches it in. You know, in a drive run that its importance on the scoreboard is obvious, giving Montreal a 5-point lead, but also critical to get that rest for a Montreal defense that's been playing against a no-huddle offense all night long. They needed their offense to put together a drive like that and give them a break.
Loris Beatty booms one into the end zone. Jock Sanders was going to let that fly through, which would not give up a single point. But they do here, which means 6-point game right now. You never know how these points add up this season with the way the converts, the single-point converts have gone and the 2-pointers. Early in the season, we saw a lot of 2-point converts first few weeks. We haven't seen that the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's not circumstantial there. Certainly, I expect to see it a great deal as the season progresses. Just when you do the math on it, in a typical situation, at 50%, you're still breaking even on trying to kick from the 32.
Here comes a big rush. Out on the near flat here. Big collision along the sideline. Ernest Jackson has a first down up near the 46-yard line. Former BC line, one of those receivers that Marcel Desjardins went out shopping for.
Yeah, Ernest Jackson showed in BC last year that he's capable of being a big play guy, but that outside of the red zone offense hasn't necessarily been his role here in Ottawa. More required to use his size on the inside as a possession type receiver.
Again, no huddle for Henry and the Red Blacks. He looked over to Siobhan Walker, now gets some time, and what a catch! Brad Sinopoli, ex-quarterback, knows his quarterback's in trouble. Come back to the football.
Yeah, nice job sliding into an open hole here. Henry Burris has two receivers on the left side as he scrambles back that way. Feels a little bit better about that throw to the inside to Sinopoli, but terrific adjustment, getting the body twisted as that ball is en route.
Snares it. Now in Montreal territory, 6-point Alouette lead. Looked like the Owls jumped. Penalty flag. Can burn one here. Mo Price. I think that's the first time we have mentioned the name Chip Cox tonight in on the tackle.
We've seen Cox on the blitz a couple of times.
Offside. Montreal. Number 95. 5-yard penalty. First down.
But he's such a versatile player, and what that means is his role changes really season to season as well as sometimes game to game within the Alouettes defense. A couple of years ago, he set a career high in sacks, playing a little bit closer to the box. But this year, we're seeing him involved in deep coverage, more often dropping as a second safety.
Midway through the fourth. Henry lobs it out. Catch made by Lavoie. Had to try to reach for that first down, and he will only maybe get back to that line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd down and 4. Might have picked up one there.
It was a nice 3-receiver combination route to the right side of the field there. The fullback Lavoie gets a little bit of extra time as it took the defense time to sort out their switches and responsibilities with 3 crossing receivers.
2nd down and 4. Walker in the backfield with Burris. Barks it out. Fires again. Caught. Ellingson. Clutch again. Inside the 40. Down near the 38-yard line. Pickup of 10.
Greg Ellingson has had a nice night. 7 catches for him in this ball game.
Bit of a wobbler that time from Burris, but Ellingson snags it. Another long drive here. Burris is going to change the plays. So now Winston Venable also shouts out his defensive play. Pump fake. Crossing pattern. Siobhan Walker scoots out and out of bounds near the first down marker. They'll spot it at the 30.
Walker's just going to sneak out late from the formation, working across the line to provide that outlet for Henry Burris. Good protection, but also good deep coverage, forcing the quarterback Burris to go to that check down route.
Ottawa Red Black team that last year had no chance in late games. Could not close. They've learned to close this season. They've got 3 wins, coming off their biggest win probably in their franchise history against the defending Grey Cup champions, where they have learned to close. There seems to be no panic here in Ottawa, and that's part of the lessons of not becoming an expansion team anymore.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They played with so many young players last season that as the saying goes, winning and losing are learned habits, and last year they learned to lose. They would get into the fourth quarter of close ball games repeatedly. A number of their games were close after 45 minutes, but they were a team whose learned habit, was making those mistakes at crunch time. Well, now a little more veteran team with a few changes in personnel, a couple changes to the coaching staff, and it's changed the dynamic and it's changed the confidence of this football team. And the guy you see right there, offensive coordinator Jason Moss, I think has played a very significant role in that.
Mitchell White was hurt. He's coming back to the sideline. Let's go to the sideline and once again join Jock.
And guys, you're talking about the change in personnel. No bigger changes than in the receiving core. And this drive is just a perfect example of that. Brad Sinopoli had an incredible catch. I talked to him before the game, and he said he's really just beginning to learn to be a receiver. It shows. And that catch by Ellingson. Last year, they wouldn't have had a receiver be able to catch that ball when it's thrown behind him. Ellingson with his incredible hands. It was a bad throw by Burris. It's first down Ottawa, and the drive continues.
Yeah, the only offensive category the Red Blacks led in last season was drops. Jock Sanders getting a touch here. There's a penalty flag at the 20. And again, it's going to be contact downfield.
Illegal contact on a receiver. Montreal, 23. Penalties declined. Play results. First down.
Jonathan Hafney, first here with the Owls.
And continuing that matchup that Jock highlighted earlier with Greg Ellingson. Ellingson beats him to the inside. Hafney feels he's got to put a little grab on to make sure he doesn't get burned. Greg Ellingson, a guy who became a forgotten man in Hamilton last season. But Henry Burris thrilled to be reunited with him here in Ottawa.
First and 10. The 22-yard line. Burris in the pocket. Lets it go. Going up and coming down. Mo Price. Whistle had blown. Price was down. Al's thought he had dropped it. There's another one of those veteran receivers, 40, that Jocko was talking about.
Yeah, and Mo Price is a guy that you get the sense he's pressing a little bit, looking for the big play. This one not for a ton of yards, but I think he'll go a long way towards helping the confidence and mindset of Mo Price, going up and getting that one in traffic.
Quick hitter off the shoe tops. Ernest Jackson can't haul it in. On second and short yardage. So now 3rd and 2. 6-point game. Noel Thorpe is going to wait to see what the Red Blacks are going to do here. Well, they're bringing out their kick team.
The Ottawa faithful not real happy to see that field goal team coming out here with their team trailing by 6.
Well, 6-point game. Almost an automatic 3 here. 5 minutes to go. They decide to fake it. Oh, never mind. But they dropped the football.
So much for that automatic 3 points.
What went from automatic to problematic in a hurry.
Well, you see DeMarco comes up under center. Milo goes out, motions out wide.
And DeMarco trying to hang on to the football. Trips up, got tripped up on the line of scrimmage. Lost his footing.
Well, the line got driven back.
And so nothing out of all that. And they ate up a good 3.5 minutes on the clock.
Well, the line got driven back, and you've got your long snapper is not as big as your regular offensive lineman. Kevin Malcolm, I think it was, got pushed back.
Here's Rutley. It was an interesting trick play, sneak play. but it almost was slow developing as they got to the line as well.
Their options were limited. I mean, the only option they had there based on alignment at the time the ball was snapped was for DeMarco to keep the ball and go around the left side. I'm not sure, even if he doesn't get tripped up, if he's going to make it.
He had 2 yards to go. Well, there's still time left, though. But discouraging for the REDBLACKS. And the Montreal Alouettes, 2nd and 11 now. Cato, Nick Lewis, sure-handed, still on his feet. Bashes forward, penalty flag. Close to a first down. Have to see what this call is. How about Nick Lewis? How many times during his 11 years in Calgary, his first year in Montreal, that he's done something like that on 2nd down? This is going against the Owls. Here's Al Bradbury.
4 yards per game. Holding. Montreal. Number 15. That distance goal. Repeat. 2nd down.
So one of the biggest plays of the ball game coming up right here.
Sam Giguère, the outside receiver, teamed with Lewis. The man who's called for the hold on that one.
So 2nd and an area code. TD place. Crowd on its feet. Full throttle. Cato. Penalty flag. Whistles. Right now, this 13th man in Ottawa is a problem for Rakeem Cato and the Owls.
Offside. Montreal. Number 2. 5 yards. Half distance to goal. Repeat. 2nd down.
Getting close to the 3-minute warning. Big hole here for the Alouettes, even though they got the ball back. And that play didn't work out for the REDBLACKS. These crazy fans are into it. In the end zone now, Cato. Drop it off to Nick Lewis. He dropped the football, but the whistle had blown. The kick team is going to come out.
How about the way the Ottawa defense swarms to the football here after Nick Lewis catches the rock? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys getting in on that one. Only one white shirt to be seen.
Boy, these two defenses have really settled in here in this second half.
Timeout. Ottawa.
This feels like a November game in August, does it not?
Well, it was talked about in the lead-up. You don't want to overplay the importance of a Week 7 game. But the fact is, you're talking about a season series between two division rivals, with Ottawa having beaten Montreal in Week 1. You're talking about a local rivalry. These guys are just separated by a couple hours on the highway. Great deal of intensity here.
And a much improved Ottawa Red-Black ball club this season. So now, Boris Beattie, big foot in the end zone. Differential is 6 points here. He's going to give up 2. You sum the clock up. So it's a 4-point game, and they'll kick it back to Ottawa, which will make it a longer field for the REDBLACKS.
Well, balancing the difference in points against the time on the clock. Ottawa has put together some long drives, but they've also been some time-consuming drives. Still in a position where Ottawa would need a touchdown to win the football game. Now they no longer need the convert to win, but need a touchdown to win. and now you're going to force them to drive it. Ottawa's not going to let them kick off. They're going to scrimmage it from the 35 here. As Henry Burris and the offense take to the field.
Especially with Boris Beattie's leg and his ability to really kick it deep.
A great heads-up decision by Rick Campbell and his staff to not let a guy who's averaging over 70 yards on kickoffs in Beattie to have the opportunity to kick off and pin them deep.
Henry Burris, who went 27 starts without a 300-yard game until his last game against Calgary, close to 300 again. Close to the 3-minute warning. Burris has time. Out of the backfield is Walker, and again that penalty flag that flies near the 42-yard line.
Illegal contact on the receiver. Montreal, number 23. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That is something.
3 minutes.
Noel Thorpe, Tom Higgins, they're going to talk about. That's a few, more than a few, illegal contact on receiver calls in this ball game. Tight one here. Down to the wire again. 3-minute warning. Wendy's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Wendy's Baconator and Bacon Poutine. Wendy's. Now that's better. Well, one of the stats that's up this season in the Canadian Football League, close encounters, down to the wire games, and we've got another one right here. And the Montreal Alouettes hold off Henry Burris and the Ottawa REDBLACKS, who could move into first place with a win. Burris with good protection. There's a safety valve again. Siobhan Walker. The human raptor. I think that's what he is. Likes that. Not sure what that guy is.
I think Henry Burris would have loved to have gotten this shot down the pipe to Ernest Jackson, who was running a seam. But things work out as that drew some defenders deep, allowing him to drop it off underneath to his running back, Siobhan Walker.
Ottawa REDBLACKS have really owned the clock, and they have this season time of possession. The crazy thing is, they haven't huddled at all for most of this game.
No, I'll be curious to see the number of plays that these guys have run in this ball game. A lot of offensive snaps.
There they go again. Here's the rush. Burris, he has his man. It's caught down inside the 15, and Greg Ellingson having a terrific night. And so too is Smiling Hank.
Greg Ellingson, again, battling Jonathan Hefney on that corner. Turns his shoulders, turns the DB's hips to the outside, breaks it inside, great separation, phenomenal concentration with the safety Marco Briette closing.
This time they're stuffed. And the Ottawa REDBLACKS don't have to be told that the Montreal Alouettes defense is one of the most proficient in the CFL in this area.
Yeah, things locked down immediately here for the Alouettes, but the thing you've got to avoid if you're Ottawa, you're playing 3-down football now, don't get predictable.
They could get to the 2-yard line and go first and goal. They need a 10-yard pickup or end zone here. Under 2 to go. Low snap. Burris looks, fires. Knocked down. Winston Venable right there with Siobhan Walker. So now, 23-19, 3rd down and 10. Rick Campbell looks to the clock.
Yeah, minute 37, you're in 3-down mode. And here, Venable is just perfectly positioned. Siobhan Walker is trying to argue that he was interfered with, but I would contend that Venable just held his ground. He was in that position where the ball was thrown.
Challenge flag comes. That's why Campbell was looking at that clock. He wanted to see a replay. And they are throwing a challenge.
Well, it's worth a shot, worth the gamble if you're Rick Campbell.
Well, not only is it a challenge, it's almost a built-in timeout. Rick Campbell,
Ottawa
2
is
for
challenging
3.
the previous play for defensive pass interference. This will be reviewed.
2 for 3 in challenges. Last year, they were 2 for 11 the entire season. So let's take a look. What do you think, Dwayne Ford?
Now you're watching Siobhan Walker. Down here, Venable picks him up. Ball's on route.
Oh, maybe.
This is absolutely a close call.
The crowd's reacting to the monitor and the scoreboard. We're seeing the replays right now. We're almost there at the same time.
Yeah, Venable locates the ball and turns, and really he's trying to play the ball. At the end, Walker's fighting to get to a spot with Burris leading him to the inside, but Venable's already in that spot.
After the review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Incomplete pass.
Incomplete. So the Red Blacks were huddling up before that challenge flag. They were going for it on 3rd down. With 1:37 to go. How big is that 1 point by Boris Beatty on that kick that eventually played out?
Yeah.
Because right now there's no decision. If he doesn't get that point, you're kicking a field goal.
Yeah, no question.
This very well could be ball game right here. Third and 10. Burris lobs it up. Curtis Jackson. Interference. Penalty flag is down. Dominique Ellis argues the call, but a penalty flag is down.
Montreal, number 38. Penalty happened in goal. Ball will be placed on the 1-yard line with an automatic first down.
So first down from the 1-yard line because of this.
Yeah, and this is one of those where you talk about putting the ball up there. And of 3 things that can happen, 2 of them are pretty good for you. Jackson can catch it. You can get the pass interference call.
He's not picking it off, looking backwards.
Not with the back of his head.
So now it has worked out for the Red Blacks.
Is challenging the previous play regarding the pass interference. This will be reviewed.
So the Alouettes are going to challenge back. Tom Higgins 0-4 this season in challenges. I don't think this one is going to be overturned. What an interesting turn of events the last 3 minutes. Ottawa gets close. They lose it on 3rd down. They get it back. And now it looks like a drive will continue because of an interference call as Al Bradbury will give us the decision.
The ruling on the field is confirmed for pass interference. First down, Ottawa.
Verdict comes from CFL command. So 1:32 to go. We've seen the Alouettes before on goal line stance. Right now,
Dan, you better stop them all 3 times. There's no sense using up your clock.
Not this time. Touchdown. Red Blacks surge in front. The buzz continues, but don't go anywhere. Still lots of time here left for the Alouettes to strike back.
Nice push by the big boys up front. Henry Burris finds that soft spot and launches himself in cleanly.
No need for a 2-point convert here. One will make it a 3-point game. And who knows, we could even have overtime.
Good job, guys.
This one isn't in the fridge yet. So Henry Burris, second major of the season, plunges in. A lot of lead changes here tonight. Chris Milo converts again. Ottawa by 3. We talked about Ottawa learning how to close out games. One thing the Alouettes know a lot about: close games.
Yeah, no strangers to danger. You see the numbers there. 4 games decided by 4 points or less. That, by the way, the field or the touchdown to take the lead for Ottawa represents the 5th lead change in this ball game.
Well, this one had an energy about it right from the outset tonight. Ottawa scored on its first drive, first time this season. Trying to win the season series. These teams will meet in October as well. But if Tom Higgins and the Alouettes can't find a way to win that 3rd game, won't matter to the season series, because Ottawa has it if they can hang on here. But Steph Logan is dynamite. There he goes up near the 38-yard line. All right, Rakeem Cato, over to you.
Cato, 19 of 31 for 288 yards and a touchdown. The thing that stands out right now, 2 interceptions, a couple of rookie mistakes from Cato in this ball game. But this is a young man who knows how to win, knows how to make big plays. And he's proven early in his career, no stage is too big.
He's going to have to do it in this noise, though. The penalty flag, that's a hold. That's a sack by Keith Sholigan.
A big play from one of their veteran leaders on the defensive
Montreal,
side.
number 68. Penalties declined. 2nd down.
Sholigan. Quick swim move, gets around the loop on the center, Brodeur-Jourdain. It puts Montreal in a real deep hole here.
Cato again. Catch made by S.J. Green. He won't get to the line of scrimmage. Does not get to the initial line of scrimmage with a minute to go. This is it for the Montreal Alouettes. And if you thought it was loud on that previous play, just wait. Sold out TD place. Cato has to scramble. He's going to step out of bounds. That will do it. The party is on in Ottawa. I'll tell you what, player of the game could also be the 13th man here tonight.
Yeah, TD Place Stadium firmly establishing itself as one of the greatest game day environments in the Canadian Football League.
No matter how you get here, whether you walk, you ride, you cab, you boat, just get here. If you're in Ottawa, if you can get a ticket, get here. They've got a lot to cheer about. Second season in the Canadian Football League. Football, my friends, is back in Ottawa in a big way.
There is no doubt about that. Back-to-back comeback late game wins for these Red Blacks. State loud and clear, this is a very different team in 2015.
Victory formation. Victory celebration. The Ottawa REDBLACKS have done it again. They've got a city buzzing. They win 26-23. Another comeback win. Win number 4. First place in the CFL East is theirs right now. Time now for our Nissan Titan Player of the Game, brought to you by Nissan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League.
Well, with their leading receiver, Chris Williams, out of the lineup, somebody had to step up for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. And none other than Greg Ellingson turned in a terrific performance. 8 catches, 111 yards, many of the clutch and highlight variety. Greg Ellingson, number 82, is your Nissan Titan Player of the Game.
Well, next week, the Ottawa REDBLACKS head to Calgary, another rematch. Big night for Ellingson, big night for the home side. 4 wins now on the season. The Alouettes will host Edmonton next week, fall to 2-4. Another down-to-the-wire game here, and this Ottawa football team painting this town red and black. 26-23 is the final. Party on in the nation's capital. Rivalry renewed. REDBLACKS take the season series. Good one here tonight. What an atmosphere. Hope you enjoyed it, everybody. Good night from Ottawa. Here comes SportsCenter right now.